Hello and welcome to Chess Books Reviews 108. Before we start, I've been trying to get some publicity for the site, and I had an objection that it looked like spam, that I was just landing it in on other sites arbitrarily. If there is a problem, please tell me, and I can either withdraw it, explain, or apologize, or a bit of both, as I'm doing now. We badly need support. We've only got 3 subscribers for this site, and I was hoping to get up to 4 before I die. So please, there's 164 and one of the others. It would be nice to be looking at that sort of number in due course. Be very much appreciated. Now, Marcel Duchamp is an elusive man. This book came into my possession yesterday. As you can see, it has chess pieces on the cover. Duchamp versus Einstein. Whether, in fact, Einstein, who wrote the introduction to a book about Lasker, really, it says, deeply engaging, cleverly weaves history and chess into a thought-provoking tale. I don't think it does anything of the sort, but I think it's just a little curio, a novelty, so I thought I'd look through it. The author is Christopher Heinz, who has collaborated with Étienne Ilfeld. As you can see, and here, I can't speak French to save my life. It's actually signed by one of them. And look. At the back, it's got an extract from one of their other books, which has nothing to do with Marcel Duchamp and nothing to do with chess either. It's about a starship. Exclusive first chapter. I read all that through. Now, if you're here at all, and you're probably not, what you want to know is, what has this got to do with chess? Well, here's Duchamp playing in a tournament in Yale, 1928, 100 years ago, against a bloke called E.H. Smith. The game is very reasonably annotated, and I've little doubt very reasonably played. Earlier, there was a game played in 1933 in Princeton by Einstein. I have to say straight out, I've never seen a game by Einstein printed anywhere. If it is apocryphal, or even invented, it's a Lopez. If it is, it does no harm. Einstein studied the move and projected the future ramifications of capturing Duchamp's rook. The loss of material was inevitable. After losing his queen, Einstein's pieces were gradually eliminated. The only remaining pieces were 2 kings and Duchamp's queen. Unwilling to concede defeat, Einstein turned to Stella with a bold suggestion. I propose that we transpose colors. Black becomes white and white becomes black. Unfair. Duchamp protested. Stella agreed with the artist. The recommendation is denied. Einstein contemplated another escape plan, knowing that space and energy are intertwined. He realized that if the finite could expand, his king might find a new trajectory. Just as our universe is both finite and infinite, I'd like to propose a new rule. Wait for it. I propose that the edge of the board expand unto infinity, such that the board will no longer have any borders. Also unfair, Duchamp said. Your request is deemed fair and is accepted. Within the space of a heartbeat, the study vanished. along with Stella, Einstein, and Duchamp, found themselves floating above a chessboard that extended in every direction as far as their eyes could see. Even knowing it was hopeless, Duchamp moved his queen and checked Einstein's king, which in turn, until Duchamp couldn't hide his disappointment. It is impossible to checkmate you with only a queen and a king if there's no edge to the board, as you'll always be able to keep running away. I can see that the game is a draw. Agreed, Einstein said, turning to Stella. Give the unorthodox nature of the game and the transformative rules you've allowed, I suspect that any match could be destined to end without a winner, which suggests that as players we shall never have free will and the game was rigged from the start. Stella smiled and vanished, the infinite chessboard converted into a black, featureless plain. Well, there we are, either highly imaginative or maybe, to a purist, a load of rubbish. I tend to think that it is the former. Thinking of his famous equation, ignite fresh concerns about tomorrow's visitors and the purpose of their meeting. How a thing so elegant as a formula related mass, energy, and speed of light could become, after 30 years later, the basis for such troubles was a thing he'd never contemplated, yet perhaps that belief wasn't entirely true. This sounds more like about Einstein than about poor old. A number of artists have achieved fame through the exhibition with their unusual works, most prominently Henri Matisse and Marcel Duchamp. Well, if you want this little book, it is $4.99 and is categorized as science fiction, and there it is. The publisher is Angry Robot. My next book is fairly recent, I think. It's called Duchamp's Pipe. Duchamp, I should explain, played 3 times internationally in world team events for France. And he did play in exhibition games against Capablanca and Alekhine. And he was, when he went to the US, well, he lived in the US, he did particularly latterly play a lot of friendly chess, but taking it seriously, with pipe in one hand and thinking cap on head. You talk about the smoky world of coffeehouse chess. Reflects the light and audacious bohemian living in wartime shadows. The pipe links the irony of Duchamp to the vaudevillian showmanship of Koltanowski, tracing a mystery based on original material uncovered by Rabinovich. Now, the showmanship of Koltanowski was, of course, the Knight's Tour, which he would perform, wouldn't he, in public, and everybody would say that the Knight goes to every square without repeating itself, and that's all very jolly. This is a big book published in California, www.northatlanticbooks.com, and it was $20, 25 Canadian dollars. It's called A Chess Romance, and there is Marcel Duchamp sitting round, pipe in mouth, and every person there is him. You may know a little about him. He played 3 times, I think, in Olympiads, and every single time he got 1 win and then as many draws as he could scrabble together. He certainly would alight on the most unusual things and make them his own, like wee. A urinal. Well, that's a pipe. Born into a cultivated 19th century world, Marcel Duchamp was educated in Normandy and Paris. was northern France. His family was intellectually alive, established in a traditional area of Upper Normandy, and Marcel's father was a notaire. That's somebody that can, in England, we call that a notary public, and somebody who can swear papers before. A combination of civic figure, lawyer, advisor, investor, and respected member of society. His maternal grandfather was a shipbroker. I'll try and say that correctly. Obviously comes down from varied backgrounds, as you might expect. And here he is in his garden with his dog. Not quite know why he would want to see that, but still. Here's some chess-related paintings that he did. As you can see. When he gave up art, though not exclusively, he went over to chess, but only playing it socially. And he was famous for the lady coming down the staircase, wasn't he? You probably knew that. Now, I am told that it was Duchamp's last job to wake Bobby Fischer up when he played at Monte Carlo. I think Lombardy went as well. And Rainier said, he wanted Bobby. And the next year he said, I don't want Bobby. Anyway. There's lots and lots of references in here to chess. 1887, this is very useful. Duchamp was born. He learns to play chess when he's 11, which would have done him no harm. And his mate, George Kaltanowski, was born shortly after. I think he died about 1968. Let's have a look. I don't know. I think it's 1968. Yes, right. He died in France at the age of 81. Not a bad age, is it, really? Talking about his years in the US. There's Kaltanowski with life-size chess pieces at the back. Not the best of photographs, but I will show it to you. There is my boy. There he is. Oh, this is rather good. This is Kaltanowski again. I think the thing about Duchamp was that he lived in a very internal world, whereas Kaltanowski used to get out and shout, missing, I'm sure, as he did, his friend Edgar Collet, who was to die 38, perhaps nearly 40 years before he did. Collet was a very strong player. Kaltanowski did latterly get the Grandmaster title, but only honorifically, whereas Collet was fully worth the full Grandmaster title. He wasn't a candidate or a contender, but he was very strong. Here's Marcel looking mysterious. There we are. Hardly a good advert for smoking, is it? This is not a pipe. And then they show a picture of a pipe. Where have you seen that before? A form of French humour. Wooden chess sets. An advert for. Oh yes, it looks like a Portland set, which I still use. There we are with a rubber glove pointing at the pawn. So that's a bit of fun, not to be taken too seriously. The next is a real find. You can get this in every bookshop you go into. I love this book because it's got parallel translations. I'm no linguist, but nevertheless, it says that the author is an independent scholar and curator specializing in the work of Dada and Surrealist periods. In other words, Marcel Duchamp is smack bang in the middle of it, chronologically speaking. These are letters, and you'll be relieved to hear I'm not going to read them out in French. He talks about any and everything, but chess does feature 1946. He's writing in French to his friend Man. Presumably Man Ray, isn't it? And he's writing to Etty when he was in Paris. Department 5, Sank, I suppose. From 1947 to 50, he was in the USA. Yes, New York. Somebody wrote for an autograph. Dear Henry, here's what I found in the literature of the Webster wire recorder. The model mentioned in the prospectus is in the form of a suitcase. Yes, he liked presenting bicycle wheels, and here he is presenting a suitcase. They have another model not made for being moved around easily. Perhaps you and me, it doesn't achieve the desired effect. Call it a table model. The latter is cheaper. What's more, I know an exporter who says he can get 20% off the official price if your desires take shape. Let me know, and I'll have the recorders in the world sent to you. Webster doesn't make the ribbon, just the wire. Tape recorders are made by other firms. Your parcel awaits patiently in my studio. My affections to Helen and to you, Marcel. I still have $10 of yours. So as you can see, that's fairly trivial and doesn't mention chess, but all of that does give you a flavour. So this is for the linguist, and this is for the people who wanted to pick up on minor points, but also to form a detailed picture of the old boy. If chess people want to know his strength, I think it's about 2100. Not quite the big time, but a very good player. Here we are. That's all chess players are artists, but all artists are chess players. No, we said it the other way around. The last one, that was a joke. The last one is this. This was $7.95 when I got it. Be a very, very great deal more than that now. This is a wooden door, and you probably look through a keyhole and you see a woman covered in dust or something. He was quite good on dust. I should explain, when I went to the Tate Gallery about 35 years ago, whatever it was, there was a talk. Ray Keane was there, Bill Hartston, Richard Eales, Jackie Eales, David Spanier, author of Total Chess. Advert. They're all there. And me, of course, one of the most important members of the audience. And Barry Martin for the Chelsea Arts Club. So if Ray wanted to take the piss, who was master of ceremonies, he'd say, and Barry, blah, 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 blah. And Barry was writhing in his seat because he didn't know that. Actually, come to think of it, he probably did anyway. But there we are. But the most exciting thing was one of the speakers was George Steiner, who wrote the White Knights of Reykjavik, which I haven't got here. I've got it next door. And that's really quite something. Here's another one of Duchamp's, at least it's in colour. Ladies ascending a staircase or something like that. Passage from Virgin to Bride. Hope she didn't take a wrong turning. This is extremely detailed. You see how he represents movement. Whether for you that conveys what he wanted, I don't know, but I hope that it does. And here you see little chess pieces appearing in the margins. See that? Knights and kings and pieces. No doubt Picasso was keeping a keen eye on what he was doing. And similarly, here we have some nudes. No doubt both artists knew each other. Here he is. Looks like something from man wearing a top hat. It looks like something from Toulouse-Lautrec. That's rather fine. Doesn't be modest. And here he is. A stain on the book. Don't know what that was. A church. There you go. Right, one last look through. There's that door I mentioned earlier. Showed you earlier. État donné. Shows a ball of string on a table. And there's the famous ready-mades. I can't conclude on a higher note to show you the bicycle wheel. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Chess Book Reviews 108. I'm James Pratt. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye.